We'll do a truncated version of the editor's cut today, Alex, but suffice to say, focus on elections again.
Absolutely. In fact, it is the word on the street. It is what the street is focused on. And in fact, whether or not you read too much into the voter turnout data that is coming out, of course, the fourth phase concluded yesterday. 96 seats saw polling done. And, well, Tamanna is going to break those numbers down for you. Whether you read too much into the volatility is the question that the markets are perhaps asking. But let's start with the voter turnout number, because everyone's focused on that this morning. Yeah. And once again, it's lower.
So, you know, it's interesting. The Election Commission has just made this entire, activity of tracking the voter turnout much more challenging and interesting, because they put out a provisional figure at 8 p.m.,
yes,
which was about 60 to 63%. The final figure they put out close to midnight yesterday is about 67%.
Wow, so there's a substantial increase.
So, and this has happened in phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. So, let me just put it simply. If the market was worried about lower voter turnout in phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, go back and see what the Election Commission is saying about these first 3 phases, and their final data versus the provisional data is a good 3 to 4% higher. Now, how that happens after the cut comes at 8 p.m., I'm not sure what the methodology is, but suffice to say that this entire conversation in the market among political pundits that there is a lower voter turnout substantially compared to 2019 does lose some steam when you look at the final figures
Sure.
that the Election Commission is putting out. Another sort of caveat to comparing 2019 phases to 2024 phases is that it's not the exact same number of seats. So maybe broadly, but like, for example, phase 4 in 2019 had 74 seats going to the polls. Phase 4 in 2024 has 96 seats going to the polls. So what you need to do is you need to compare it state-wise, which is what we've done for you on the screen. This is as per, remember, provisional data of 8 p.m. yesterday. So you're seeing a substantial change if you look at the provisional data. The biggest drop in voter turnouts in Bihar, you're seeing in Jharkhand,
as
in
well
Maharashtra,
Andhra Pradesh as well.
Yeah, which this is the phase 4 voter turnout. So you're seeing changes there. Jharkhand is positive. So now, why is voter turnout a big deal? Let's talk about that. Why, at the end of the day, does anyone care about voter turnout? Sorry, I preempted that. Voter turnout is seen as a big deal because past data is showing you that incumbents come back to power more comfortably on a higher voter turnout rather than a lower voter turnout.
This is based on how much data?
This is based right from 1957.
Wow, okay.
Okay, so if I look at data right from 1957, I'm not counting 1952 when you had your first general election, because you had no base.
Yes.
Incumbents come back to power more easily on a higher voter turnout. Does this mean that this is a scientific fact? No, because with elections it really isn't. You ask any psephologist and they wouldn't claim that this is a scientific fact.
Yeah.
But this is contrary to broad perception that if fewer people come out to vote, it's because they
they anticipate an easy victory for the incumbent.
Yeah. So a higher voter turnout is always good for the incumbent. Frankly, it's good for the nation.
Yes.
And people should come out and vote. This is for all of you in Mumbai who have a long, don't think 20th is a long weekend. Please go out and vote. I'm just slipping that in. So what is the voter turnout telling us today when I look at the final data?
Yeah.
It's not as low as was anticipated. There is a decent sort of a turnout, especially Jammu and Kashmir is impressive. It's almost double of what it was in 2019. Some states is lower. West Bengal is leading the pack with
close to 80%, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, but lower than the previous election. Now, how do you look at it? Because West Bengal is a stronghold of, say, the TMC, not really of the BJP. So who is it bad for if I take that theory across?
Yeah.
So it's a little more complex than that, is what I would say. And, as Bernstein is saying today, hold your horses, wait till June 4th. It's very difficult to conclusively say anything one way or the other right now.
Absolutely. And the other aspect that is playing out is volatility. We're looking at it. You guys addressed it in your setup for the day. What a wild swing we saw in trade yesterday. But you've written a piece, Niraj, and I would strongly encourage everybody to go out and read that piece when you have the time. It's an opinion piece on the website titled if I'm not mistaken, why the retail investor should embrace volatility this poll season. What are you saying?
I'll make it very quick. Just two tables really, which lay it out. So if you look at we've just taken the past 3 elections because, I mean, frankly, 2004 was too far back, and there was this whole period of an economic boom globally, so not considering that. But if you look at any of those 3 periods, no matter what happened during that election period, volatility, 5 years out, the gains were very large. So for 2009 to 2014, 55% gains, 2014 to 2019, 56% gains, 2019 to 2024, 88% gains. This is as per calculations 3 days ago. So no matter what happens during the election period, if you lose out on buying, then you miss out on those returns. And frankly, people may say past may not be an exact indicator. So here's some data about what the future could hold in store. We've assumed a Nifty EPS of 1142 for FY25, which is as per the Motilal Oswal estimate, and then a modest 12% EPS growth for 26, 27, 28, 29, and assigned a 2021 PE multiple, which is what India has historically traded at. Assuming that there is Amrit Kal and growth, we might trade at those levels. The Nifty might well be at 37,736 by FY29. We are currently at 22,000. You want to pay heed to the election volatility currently, or just stay invested and make the returns as they come over the next 5 years? The choice is yours.
Only on the back of an argument for earnings growth of 12%, which
is very
someone would
modest,
argue a lot of people would argue is modest. Now, it is a fascinating conversation. Tamanna, Niraj, I will encourage all our viewers to weigh in on what they think and whether they're going out and buying in the volatility. I thought there was an interesting point that Niraj mentioned, which is at the low point of the volatility in the 2019 elections. Again, I hope I'm remembering correctly. You would have made 99% on the Nifty 50 and not the 80-odd% that you had made otherwise. So that's what you should pay attention to.